Hello and thank you for tuning in to Embracing My Melanin. It's your girl Rochelle. In today's video, y'all, we have the Juvia's Place Radiance Booster. I picked mine up in the shade zero point 0.5. I believe the shade of that is called Mali, Mali. I could be wrong on how I'm pronouncing it, but hey, it happens, okay? So here it is right here. I'm just gonna take it out, and there you go, right there in the bottle. Okay, so this particular product retails for $25. It's only available in 13 shades. Now I will say that was very shocking to me when I saw. I was like, this it? Like, interesting. Okay, and this particular shade right here, which is the deepest shade right here, it didn't go any deeper than this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on this product. Okay, so what I found out was is formulated in 13 shades. Like I said, this product is your go-to for a flawless and radiant skin. It's a lightweight formula that keeps your skin hydrated and gives you the perfect glow. You could use this as a primer, or you could use this alone for light coverage. Okay, so this has multi uses to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be alone. You could wear the first layer of it, and then of course then put another layer on top of it. Now, one thing that I was curious about that I will probably research or play with after this review, and I'll come back and let you know, is whether or not this can be mixed in with another product instead of just layering another product on top of it. So I'll see about that later on. Okay, but outside of that, those are the stats on this particular foundation. It says a low to medium buildable coverage, so it can be built up, and we'll test that just a little bit today with my covering my scars and my hyperpigmentation. Okay, it's a complexion booster, and it gives an radiant illuminating finish. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this on up, and ooh, okay, this is a beautiful rich color right there. Let's see what it do. I've already primed my face. Where is my primer? I don't know. Oh, I've already primed my face with the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dewy Dew Primer right here. Love this primer. Um, if you loved Milk Hydro Grip, you'll love that even more because it's affordable and does the same thing. Okay, so let's see what this do. Okay, so looking at it off rip, the shade is not a dead on match, but it's can be used for so many different things. I don't think I necessarily expected that, but okay, it gives good coverage. It gives good coverage unless I just put too much on my face just now. So it did give good coverage right here. I like that. Okay. For this to be a solo, like it could be used in dual methods, I think it did cover up a good bit of my scarring, but I probably did build it up along with how much I put on the side, so you see that? That looks good. That looks good, and it does give a very beautiful, radiant, illuminating finish, okay? So I'm gonna put just a little bit on this side just to see how it looks like with just a light finish. Okay, so with just those two dots spread out, if you don't want a lot of coverage, then it truly can just be a light coverage um, but buildable product, because I can clearly see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I can clearly see that my, with those, the one dot down here and the other one up here, I could clearly see that all of my hyperpigmentation, my scarring down here is not covered. Okay, but it's buildable. So what I'm going to do is I am going to build it up just a little bit, just a little bit. Probably thought that was probably too many dots, but it's okay. Now, the only thing that I probably don't like the most right now is the fact that it's not my perfect shade. I'm a stickler just a little bit over the times that I've I've been wearing foundation and everything. It's like I've been becoming a real stickler for wearing my perfect shade or finding my perfect shade. Now this is not horrible. It's not horrible, but I do feel like this is just maybe could be just a little bit too, maybe just a little bit too muddy for me. Maybe. Okay. But I have a lot more to do with this. So we shall see. Now I will say this, it is glowing. Darling, it is glowing. I'm radiant to the max. Okay, so here's my face after blending out the concealer. My concealer today, like I said, was from Amicole. Um, I wanted to brighten up my skin, bring some color, some dimension back to my skin, and it's looking pretty good. I'm so happy that I did use the Amicole because it is a very natural illuminating, I should say not necessarily illuminating, but radiant concealer. And I'm always worried about which concealer to match with which foundation, especially when I don't get a matching, um, when I don't have like the brand same, like, type of concealer or anything like that. I actually need to re-up on the Juvia's Place concealers because I did love those concealers, okay? But I'm just going to go ahead and finish my face. It's still looking radiant. Still looking good. Still looking good. I'm going to take down some of this radiance though, because of course I'm going to set everything with a powder. So we'll see how that looks. Guys, I'm nervous. Okay. All right, and here it is. Here is my finished look. I'm going to make sure to um, list everything down in the description box. I know I'm horrible at that, guys, but I will make sure to do it this time because it's all sitting in front of me. Okay. So I will be back in just a few short minutes for you. Well, seconds for you and several hours for me, just to see how this lasted on my face today out in the elements, because I got several things I need to do today. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, and here I am, guys. I am back. It has been several hours, I think when I got off camera, I didn't show you guys when I got off camera, the time was around about 12:30, 12:40. I got a late start today. However, right now it is 9:03 in the evening. It has been over 8 hours since I last was on camera, but here it is. What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think? Okay, still lightweight, does not feel icky or heavy on my skin or anything like that. But if you guys have been here for a little while, then you know what I'm about to do. But if you're new here, basically, I know that no matter what foundation I get on my skin, lightweight, medium, full coverage, whatever, I know that it's not going to go um, a full 8 hours without me having to do any kind of touch-ups, that there's not going to be any sort of oils popping out of my skin or anything like that. I'm not crazy enough to believe that it won't happen, okay? But the question is how will it touch up, okay? So I'm going to get my brush that I used earlier to apply the product, and I'm just going to go in the areas where it's just a little shiny, okay? Because it is still radiant, but let's see what happens just to get some of the oils off of my face, okay? Just looking over here in my mirror. Let me put it in front of me, okay? No extra product on the brush or anything like that. Okay. It's touching up really, really, really good, okay? So it's still luminous. It's not oily. I don't know what you guys are seeing because of the light shining in on me, but it's looking really, really good, okay? The oils and my nose went away. Some with just a light pat of the brush, and it's still radiant. My skin is very radiant, very, very nice. The blush is still there some, but if I wanted to pop just a little bit more, I would probably set the blush with a powder, which I did not do today. But outside of that, everything looks good. Everything still looks good. Like I look just as good as when I left off camera 9 hours ago, okay? So that is it. If anything, if you are a oily person, make sure you get a very good mattifying primer. You know, if anything, this foundation probably would be more so for those who have normal to dry skin tones. Is very hydrating, and it gives that look. If you're a person that has combination skin or oily skin, you might not like it, but it just depends on what your personal preference is. But to me it looks good. To me, it still looks good. You know what? While I'm here, I wonder how it will look once I put just a little bit, when I put just a little bit of powder on my face. Hold on. Oh yeah, when I put the powder, what little bit of powder was left on this puff right here, some of that oiliness, that real oily look does go away when you put just a little bit more powder, just a setting powder. Just remember, I use the Sasha Buttercup loose powder on my face, and I set my concealer with that powder. So yeah, so if you didn't want it to be that shiny or whatever, just have a little bit of a setting powder on a puff. Like I said, I didn't need to add anything to it. If anything, I just pushed it down into the puff just a little bit more, and it took it away. And now it, for me, is just a little bit better. Still radiant, but just brought down just a little bit so that it doesn't look as too shiny. But this looks good. with just a little powder, just a little bit powder, okay? So yeah, just if you have oily skin, get a little puff, a little powder on it, and just set it down, and you're back to looking fresh again. You're back to looking fresh all over again, and that's it. That's it, and that's usually my judgment on it. It's not bad. It didn't separate. It didn't melt off. My makeup didn't shift or anything like that. Even with just a little bit of powder on it, the blush is still lightly there. Not as much as it was, but it's still lightly there. But like I said, I would have set my blush with a powder blush, if anything, just to set on my cheeks before, which I did not do. But outside of that, y'all, this still looks good. Over 8 hours later, and it still looks good. I can't say no more. I can't say no more. This, yes. Yes. So Juvia's Place, your radiance booster right here. Now I am going to come back. I'm going to try and see if I can mix it with another product. I have another Juvia's Place moisturizing foundation. I think it's a moisturizing foundation, but I think that shade is just a little bit too light, and this one just a little bit too dark. So I'm going to see if I can mix those two together and see what it does. So I'll be back to let y'all know. But overall, in truth, I have no complaints. Well, no, I do have one complaint about it. If it could be used alone, I would highly suggest that you come out with more shades. I would highly suggest that you come out with more shades. Since this can be used alone, 13 shades, you could do better than 13 shades, because this is the darkest shade. The one that's lighter than this, the next shade down, and this is the darkest shade. You can use some darker shades, and you can use some lighter shades. I know people could use this as a primer, but if it can be used alone just by itself, then you can use some more shades and some more undertones with this one, for those who don't use this as a primer. For those who wear this alone, I just didn't think I would have to say this to you, Juvias, because y'all should know better. Just saying, okay? But outside of that, that one flaw of the shade range not being very extensive, and there could be darker shades and shades in between the other shades, like off rip, there should easily be 30 of these. Easily be 30 of these shades, but you never know. We accept it when L'Oreal, Revlon, and all these other brands, when they take their time and come out with shades and extend their shade range. Well, you know what? This will be the first time for Juvias. Juvias, extend your shade range, but extend it on this, because this is a good product, okay? All right, but that is it. That is all. I thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, well, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, boo. And if you like me just a little bit, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, stay blessed and beautiful. Bye.